Hey, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my creative life. I am making a layout today using a challenge from a Facebook group that I'm involved in. So I need to use all of these things, ones being circles, thread/twine, die cut, small letters, and something new. So you can see there that I have some pre-cut items for this particular subject. My family and I do a virtual marathon during the month of November. It's a memorial for my nephew who passed away during COVID. And this was our 4th year of doing it in 2024. So for the circles, I grabbed this one piece here. That's from Club Scrap. I bought it especially for this year's Tomcat strut. That's the name of our strut pages. So I was really happy to see that. The only thing I didn't like is it said circles of friends. So you'll see what I do there. But I'm going to take this pattern piece of paper and I'm going to cut it down. I think I do 1.5 inches on both sides. So what does that make it? 10.5. But actually now that I'm looking at it, yeah, I guess it's about 10.5. So my first thought is I'm going to put it right in the middle. And I'm rearranging or I'm arranging my pictures. There's 3 photos, but if you notice, none of them have people in it. They're just our standings of this race. And like I mentioned, or maybe I didn't, that this is the last page for this particular year's virtual marathon. So I thought, look, that's kind of a good ending. So I put everybody's who crossed, who went first, how many miles at the end of the marathon. And then that yellow one was the graphic that we used every time somebody using air quotes, cross the finish line during the month of November. So I love that long line that says, our circle of friends make life, what's the last word? Complete. But we're not, well, I mean, we're friends, but we're family. So I didn't like that part. And eventually you'll see me, but I do end up using those little circle strips of part of that because again, it's a circle is one of the challenge of it. Now, those little other circles that have Tomcat strut and that shoe, those I made with my Cricut using print then cut. And I thought I was going to use both of them. I end up using one, and you'll see that in a minute as well. And then I just started thinking, hey, I have some scraps that are already in this kit because I built a kit at the beginning of the strut just so when I go through the pages, I don't have to every time go to my Cricut to make items. So I make a bunch of die cuts. So those sneakers are going to be part of the die cuts that I use. I also use a walking kind of icon, which you'll see me pull out in a minute as well. I'm still kind of playing where I'm putting things. I really want to hide that friends because it's really more of a circle of family, not friends. So that's kind of been bothering me. And that's when I decide to cut it up. But before I do that, I am going to cut a circle. And I'm going to use this for the base of those sneakers. And I'm just using my circle cutter. Sorry, from Creative Memories. This was one of the first tools that I bought back in like 2000. So I've had it forever, never had to replace the blades. I love this thing. And I know they still sell it. So if that's something you're interested in, leave me a comment if you don't have a Creative Memories consultant. I am not one, but I do have one, and I'd be more than happy to give you her name. But I'm still kind of I'm just working it out. I'm thinking, what am I trying to do? Because I really am thinking I want that strip on that bottom part of the layout, which it doesn't end up being that way because I think I just realized it just doesn't work. But I do like the circles over there on the left side. So we're going to keep that there. So again, the 5 challenge items. The new item was the Club Scrap embellishment. So that's that. The circles, well, obviously you see the circles. Plus I'm going to use it in the title. So that's 2. The die cut sneakers, that's 3. Small words, you'll see me play with that in just a minute. And really, as I'm going through this whole thing, I'm just thinking, how am I going to incorporate twine/thread? Because that's something I don't usually put in my layouts, the ribbon, things like that. It's just, I have a lot of it. I just don't use it. But you'll see, I'm going to have an aha moment in just a little minute. So I cut away all those words like I mentioned. And I think without the friends, it still works. Our circle makes life complete. Hey, it works. Put those sneakers there. All of a sudden things are making sense, right? So then I'm going to move that other strip, that long one there on the bottom. But I'm kind of like, do I like it? Do I not? It's just, I'm not really sure, but I'm still just kind of playing around with it. So I'm good with how it's looking so far. And this is the other die cut that I was talking about. really super simple. I'm just kind of putting those circles just kind of wonky here, there, and everywhere. I did decide to punch circles out of those strips that I got from Club Scrap because I do want to use them. This is the last layout where I specifically bought that item. Not that I couldn't use it in another one, but I probably won't. So I went ahead and punched some circles there, and so I didn't end up using that circle that has that footprint, and I'm okay with that. I'm also aware that I'm not using that strip in the bottom. I'm going to use that for my journaling box, and I'm going to cut just some scrap paper that I have on my desk. No big deal. But I do hope you like this video, and if you do, give me a thumbs up. I do post 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking. The other is whatever it is I'm creating in the Command Center. The Command Center is the name of my craft room and also the name of my blog. And so if you're not already a subscriber, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You can also hit that notification bell to be notified of any new videos. But anyhow, I did finally get to a point where I was like, okay, I'm happy with how this is looking. So this is why I'm adhering everything down at this point. And I'm telling you, this is when I'm kind of going, okay, put everything down, just using some glue, using my ATG gun. And then remember that circle? You see how it was hidden under the paper? Well, I wasn't looking when I put it down. You're going to see me in a minute going, where is that circle, right? I'm looking here, I'm looking there. I cannot find it. I do realize it's underneath that yellow paper, and I thought, okay, I'll try to peel it out. It was stuck on there. I'm not even going to worry about it. So I did have to end up cutting another one. I thought it was so funny that it's on tape. And if I was probably paying attention, I probably would have noticed it. But I'm so goofy. And there's a lump of a circle there. Hey, it's, cardstock, weight. Yeah, I mean, if you felt for it, you'd feel it, because I could definitely feel it once I thought, oh, that's probably where it is. But, hey, if scrapbooking is not making you laugh or have all the emotions, then maybe we're not doing it right. But I did try to look for small words that had something to do with like encouragement or memories or family, something like that. But I just got a mixture of they all kind of work, which is great. And I'm going to go ahead and glue the journaling down. And I'm also, like I mentioned, going to cut another circle for the sneakers and that title that I'm going to use. I'm still kind of just going, do I want to do something different? I'm still thinking, hey, I still need to use that twine or that string or that thread. What am I going to do? I'm going to tell you right now, I have a total aha moment, because I am going to use black thread, so thin, and tie little bows. So my shoes have a bow. Duh. Like, did you guys already think of that before? or are you just now thinking about it as well? But I'm telling you, I was so stoked about that idea. And it's so funny how things will just come to you. But I'm not the greatest on tying bows, but I just did some simple bows and just kind of kept pulling down until it got a really small loops, because these are just, small sneakers. But don't you just love those? Again, aha, right? Oh my goodness. Anyhow, I do hope you like this video. I know I mentioned that before. I am going to do a little bit of journaling on that long journaling spot. And that was another question. I wasn't sure if I was just going to write all the way through or do like 2 columns. I do end up just drawing lines all the way through. I think that worked out better and probably easier to read when the time came. But look at how fun this layout is. And like I mentioned, I got all 5 of the challenge items. Now, the funny thing is this challenge is from a 100 pattern paper challenge group on Facebook, which I mentioned. And after I was all said and done, I thought, I only really used 1 piece of pattern paper. Now, I know that marathon paper, I don't know if you saw me punch it, but it's definitely there, is actually a pattern paper, but it was already like a scrap in that kit. And then I did use those Club Scrap pieces, but I don't know if that counted. Hey, you know what? I met the challenge. I used at least 1 pattern paper. I am happy, and I really like the way this turned out. It's super fun. But if you have any questions about that virtual marathon, if that's something you want to look into, definitely leave me a message, and I'll let you know what I do or what we do. And it's super fun. And again, it's a memorial for my nephew, but we also are making more memories because we're challenging each other, sharing pictures, things like that. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Bye.